Okay.
Oh my god.
We're back. Episode 2.
You know what's so funny is that you turned off the AC and immediately I feel warm. But like,
I'm sorry that my apartment is so hot.
no, the same thing with like in my room. Like I need to have like the AC escapes because I have one of those the wall things. The AC unit. The poor New York City apartments experiences.
Poor? Do you know how much money I spent on that? Do you want to know the struggles that I went through? I was not able to buy that for a majority of the summer because I accidentally locked myself out of my apartment and I had to pay $400 for a locksmith. The money that I had put aside for a window AC unit, only then to try to put it in the fucking little metal AC container in the wall to guess what? Wasp infestation.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Wasp gate. But let me tell you. Well, first of all, hi, I'm Pioneer Peru.
And I'm Trailblazer Nick, and this is
Pioneers and Trailblazers. And listen, no pioneer or trailblazer will do what Nick did when he got locked out of his apartment, which is call a person and pay them $400 to unlock your door, when he could have easily just waited for somebody to open the door. He could have just sat his ass for 30 minutes outside your apartment and just waited for somebody to come out.
I'm not taking this.
This is crazy.
No. Because you have to understand
White people.
You have to understand the context of the situation.
Oh, please tell us the story, Mama.
No, the story is I just had a new roommate move in. Did not have her phone number memorized. So this is what happened. My apartment, I had a package delivered. It was my prep.
You were shirtless, famously.
I was shirtless. I was wearing Birkenstocks and wearing gym shorts. And my
Come on, White.
No, my prep got delivered to my home because we fancy. And the UPS person was like buzzing, like they're
Are
like,
you Travado?
I'm Discovery.
Travado.
Thanks. Oh no, does Gilead do both or just one? Anyway, fuck the pharmaceutical industry. So the UPS.
Unless you sponsor us.
No, I won't take that.
You won't take a sponsorship?
No, I wouldn't. I'm not gonna
Big Pharma.
No, I'm not gonna do a Gaga and do like the Neurotech or whatever that is.
Gaga me up.
No. I'm sorry. That is. So...
I want to be. You know, eventually down the line, I will be like the spokesperson for like Pepto-Bismol.
No, that's okay. You're a sellout, and I refuse to be. I refuse to be. But anyway, so he was buzzing like his life depended on it, and I was like, well, I need to get my Discovery so I can get railed, and so then I exited my apartment, forgot to lock the deadbolt. The door completely shuts behind me, and I went, fuck, my phone was in there in my apartment as my keys. I get my package. I then was like, well, my landlord lives on the first floor. Let me just knock on her door. Sometimes she works from home. Knocked on her door, crickets. Go up to the second floor, because there's only 3 apartments in my building. I hear a TV going. I knock on the door. No one answers. And I was like, I literally hear somebody in there. They're watching the news. Like, hello. I like ring the doorbell. I'm like knocking the door. I'm like, please can somebody help me? I locked myself out of my apartment. They do not give a fuck whether I live or die. And I'm like, you know what? Community. And so then I was like, what am I going to fucking do? So then I'm like, I have no idea. Again, my new roommate had just moved in. I do not know her phone number. I don't have a phone. I have no way to contact anyone. So I have to walk to the corner store at the end of the street, shirtless, in gym shorts, holding a fucking UPS package, just like covering my nipples, being like, hi, does anyone have a phone? And they were like, why the fuck do you need a phone? And I was like, I locked myself out. And then this woman was so kind and let me borrow her phone to call a locksmith, because what else am I supposed to do? I didn't have the girl's number. No. So I couldn't call her and be like, hey girlie, I locked myself out. After the fact, she did reach out. She did tell me. She was like, oh my God, you locked yourself out? You could have just called me.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, didn't know her number.
You could have gone on social media. You could have just used somebody, log on your Instagram, get a hold of someone, a friend. You could have come to my place. You could have gone somewhere.
No, the woman who let me borrow her phone, she was in a rush. She was truly getting her like breakfast snack, and she was like on her way. It was in the morning. It was early morning. And so anyway, I called the locksmith. The locksmith showed up. He was hot as fuck, and he was like, you lock yourself out? And I was standing there shirtless being like, maybe. He let me in and then was like, it'll be $400. It took him 2 seconds to open the fucking door with an airbag.
Yes, that's just
and then he wouldn't leave until the Zell he wouldn't leave until the Zell hit. And then I thought I was
or else he would have murdered you.
No, I was like, oh wait, he's waiting for the Zell to hit because he's interested. He wants to chat with me. No, we stood there in complete silence, just looking at our phones. Yeah. Like in the hallway of my apartment building. Anyway, so that's why I couldn't afford the AC unit.
Listen, there are 2 types of people in this world. and there's the people who will pay $400 for a locksmith.
I had no choice.
And the people that will just
gun to my head.
I would have literally just been like, all right, well, I guess I'm just waiting for hours. Like, I would have just been like, all right.
Well, I had work that day and I had things to do. And again, let's reiterate: shirtless, gym shorts
in the summer. People run shirtless.
In the early morning, had no phone, no wallet, no nothing on me. Absolutely nothing. What was I supposed to do? Wait around doing what?
Just find a friend. Go to the park.
The park across my street? Girl, what are those children gonna fucking do? They can't help me. Anyway, lots to complain about. And speaking of complaining, okay, so yesterday, I was waiting to tell you this.
This is your town hall?
This is my town hall. So town hall's begun. So yesterday, on my way home from work, I was on the train and I had smoked a joint, obviously, before I got on the train. So I was high. And the hottest daddy I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm not even kidding. He was like muscly and he was clearly gay because of the way that he was dressed. Like he was a faggot. And he was wearing like a black...
Love objectifying people's looks.
No. And he was like wearing like a black tank top. It was like tight and he was wearing like cut off shorts. Like very similar to yours, but like much shorter. So obviously I was like gay. And he was like and so he looked like a leather daddy and like that was definitely his vibe. And so he sat directly across from me and I was like, oh, it's on. Like I was like, oh my God.
The staring contest has begun.
Did not look at me.
Oh.
At all. For any of the ride. But do you know who did look at me? A group of 3 European tourists. And they were women and they were checking me out. Like the girl, I'm not kidding. So they got off at their stop, which was like a couple of stops away from mine. And one of the girls in the group, when they like the doors opened and she looked and she was like, oh, we gotta go. She stood up, walked closer to me and kind of just like hovered over me and kind of like looked at me, waiting for me to like look up and make eye contact with her. Refused to. Girl, she was they went to the Lego store.
Oh,
I'm not flirting with you.
Would they be people who would know you from like TikTok?
They did not give me that vibe. They
were like audience.
No, they did not seem like my audience. They seemed like 3 European women who were horny, and I for some reason fit kind of like the wafy, malnourished white boy that of their dreams was kind of like the thing. And so I was like, feels really nice to like have these straight women think I'm gorgeous and beautiful, but would never touch with a 10-foot pole, unfortunately.
You know what I do, which is like, because I'm mentally ill. Like my way of flirting is just ignoring or like roasting. Like if I'm at like a house party, you know, like my way of flirting is just like I will absolutely like berate you and I will roast you in front of everyone. I will make fun of you. I will tell everyone what a piece of trash you are. Like that's me flirting.
Yeah, me too.
Or like if I'm on the train or like walking down the street or something, like my way of flirting is just completely to make you feel like I'm not looking at you at all. No,
disengaging. I was like, no, that's how kind of what happened with the daddy, because I was like catching glances every once in a while, but I was like, I don't want to be too obvious.
Although
never once did he look at me. But I will say I'm a similar. I will also like destroy your public standing with other people. And that's my like way of flirting, because I think it's really cute and fun. And some people just think it's mean. One time in high school, this is unrelated, and this was actually not flirting, it was just with a girl. But
you were just being a bitch.
I was just no. There was a girl, love you girl. Like we still follow each other on Instagram.
We love girls first and foremost.
No, we love girls.
We just say we love girls.
They were my only friends.
Women.
My only friends growing up, and I still think women are better than men, like to this day. But it happened, I think it was our sophomore or junior year of high school. No. Sophomore? Anyway, we were in the same math class and we were like, you know, we had like a very particular kind of chemistry vibe that was going, where we were kind of like mean to each other, but in a very joking way. And I thought we both were on the same page with it. Weeks later, I get pulled aside and being like, hey, you're being really mean to whatever. And I was like, no, but like, it's like, we're both in on it. And the person who came up to me was like, no, she like told me that her feelings are really hurt. And I was like, oh my God, like I had no idea. And we had to have like a sit down chat, and like I had to be like, I'm so sorry, I thought we were just joking. And she was like, yeah, you've been joking a lot recently. And I was like, damn, okay.
You know what that reminds me of? When I was in Peru, I must have been like in 3rd grade. And my sister, who's only 6 years older than me, was going to the same school, because it was a school that like had all the levels, you know, they had like elementary, junior high, and whatever. And so somehow we ended up having the same break period. And I've always been just, I've always talked way too much. I've always just disclosed fucking just any piece of information just for a laugh. And I remember my sister, had a crush on a guy who was dating this girl who had like very voluptuous lips. And they called her Frog Lips. And I remember one time I saw my sister with her friends during recess, and Burley, that was the guy's name, Burley. Oh my God, Burley.
That's a hot name.
Burley Briseño was his name. Burley Briseño, I believe. Burley, you're watching. Burley.
Wait, what are you up to now, Burley?
Burley! He was there, and like, they were talking about the girlfriend, and then I suddenly went like, oh, you mean Frog Lips? And my sister looked at me. She got so red. And like Burley was like, who's Frog Lips? And my sister had to explain. She had to explain. Like, she basically had to rat herself out for calling freaking Burley's girlfriend for being a bully. And I haven't stopped doing comedy since, some would say. I think that was my break into comedy. was Frog Lips, yeah.
It wasn't even your joke to begin with.
It was. I stole the joke and then delivered it and performed it in front of an audience of 5.
Oh, what thief!
That was great.
No, I love that.
Yeah, that was a hit. I would always break into like my sister's like birthday parties at home. I would always just go down there, dance.
My sister. I have an older sister. She's 2 years older, and we went to school a lot together around the same time because of.
Here at this podcast, we love 2 things. We love women and sisters.
No, sisters, and the sisterhood. I remember. I will never forget. It was maybe my freshman year of high school, and she was a junior at the time, and she played tennis, and she was on the tennis team. And I remember she came up to me once in the hallway, and it was like my study hall or something. And she was like, whatever you're doing, you need to stop. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And she was like, everyone on the girls' tennis team is talking about how funny you are, and it's annoying, and I don't want to hear it anymore. So whatever you're doing, you need to stop. And my first initial reaction was, people think I'm funny? Because I had not heard that up until that point. Like, I had no idea that people thought I was funny. And I was like, so I did the complete opposite of what she wanted me to do. I like turned it up like 100. And that's how I got to where we are today.
Have you always been like a performative person?
Yeah, girl. I grew up in the theater. No, I grew up in church choir because I needed an outlet to perform, and I was a singer.
Yeah, but like with a lot of comedians, I feel like, and now we're gonna be a roast comedians, but I feel like especially with stand up, like there is like a group of comedians that are like introverts, who like their only time to like really be ultra expressive is like on stage, but like if you meet them somewhere, they're introverts, like like they're just doing their own thing, like. But my personality type is just highly performative as is.
I would argue to say, well, I would like to think that I am always the same all of the time as I am on stage as I am in person, but people have come up to me and told me that I am much more introverted in real life.
You are.
Right, and I didn't realize that because I was training somebody at work the other day, and we were talking, I was training this person at work, and we were chatting, and I don't even remember how it came up, but she was like, well, it's like kind of a hard job, like you might not like it because you're much more of an introverted person. And I literally looked at her and I was like, introverted? I was like, what do you mean? And then I had to stop by and look back and think and be like, oh, that actually is like very true. Like the only times I'm really on and performative is when I'm like around people that I'm super close to.
But I feel like,
and like family, like whenever I go back home, I'm always like, I like recharge my battery because I'm like, yes. Because it is like an audience that I can do literally anything in front of, and like I won't bomb because they know me so well, and like even if it's a bomb, I'm like, fuck you, you don't think it, like you don't understand comedy, you don't get it.
Well, I feel like with family, no, like I feel like
I'm like the most myself with my family, which is like
I am not,
which is like kind of crazy.
No, I'm not. I'm not, because I feel like I'm like a Peruvian version of myself with my family, and like sometimes like I regress into like that dynamic, Sure. I'm much. Well, I don't know. With my mom recently, I've definitely, well, not recently, ever since like I came to New York, I feel like my mom has found in me like because my mom is kind of like me too, like in a way that she's very like social, and she's, I think she used to be like the like center of attention and like on the dance floor and whatever, like that was her.
Yeah.
But then when she came to the US, like it's like more of like an adjustment for her.
Yeah.
So I feel like anytime like she comes to New York and like we hang out, like she loves to do like dinner night out, like rosé and oysters. Like she loves to do like the girly things, but like she really doesn't get to do my sister, because my sisters, like my oldest sister's just like a finance Nazi, so literally she splits the bill like chips and dip. She's like, yeah, I have 3 chips. How many did you have? Like she's kind of like that.
I can't stand.
But she's wealthy too, so it's just like whatever. Like
no, and it's always the people. It's always the bitches with money. I'm sorry, not to air anybody out, not to interrupt. I'm so sorry, but there was one girl that I lived with in college who like Venmo requested me for literally everything. It was insane. It was like, and then anytime I would pay something for her in Venmo request, she'd be like, really? She'd be like, are you really gonna Venmo request me for that? And I was like, I'm sorry. I took a bite of your bagel and you Venmo requested me for it. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Anyway,
let's dig deeper into this, because okay, have you ever? So I just came back from P-Town, and I'm not roasting my friends. Actually, this is something I just discovered, but I like it, and it leads me into the topic that we're sharing currently, which is paying between friends. So have you heard of the app Splitwise?
No, I'd really just use Venmo, but I've heard of Splitwise.
Right, so like Splitwise, which makes sense in like bigger group scenarios, because
I don't go out with a group big enough where we would need to like have to use Splitwise.
That's the thing, and so like this comes to me, and it's like I'm surprised I've never heard of Splitwise before this trip, because it's like, the math is mathing on Splitwise. It's just like you can put in there, okay, you went on a trip for 7 days. 4 people were here at this point, 3 people were there, and then 4 had dinner, and then 7 had drink. Like it does literally all the math for you. Like you just have to input, and it just like figures it the fuck out, which I think is pretty clever. But
it should do that. Technology has moved far enough where I feel like it
has.
If you have to enter it yourself, I'd give up.
But then in any social setting, like there's always gonna be that one girly who's just like, all right, so like, how are we doing this? Or like, I had the one drink in the app, so I just like, well, but if you go out enough with certain people too, it's just like it ends up evening itself out. Like for me, I'm much more like the social game. It's just like I don't want to be the person who's complicated. Like if I feel like, it's like 4 of us had dinner, and then maybe like 2 drank more than us, and we're splitting the bill. Like I'm like, what, it's fine, because then I'm like taking a look, because then I'm hanging out with them, and like maybe we'll go to a bar after, and then they'll get a round of drinks for us. Or like I'm I'm much more of like who I'm with, like socially. Yeah. Because then I know it's all gonna pass it's gonna make its way back around. Yeah. It's only with the people that I don't know. But even then, for me, it's much more of a social game. I'm much more like whatever everyone wants to do. I'm never like, okay, well, like everyone Venmo me, or like everyone blah, 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 blah. Like I'm always just like everyone. Whatever.
Do you know what I do? It's kind of bad. But what I do.
Well, before you go into what you do, obviously, I'll be checking the bank app in the bathroom before paying.
Oh, of course.
Like every time I want to fucking dinner or anything, it's like, all right, we should get the check. I'm gonna go pee real quick. I'm not peeing in the bathroom. I'm checking my bank account in the bathroom.
She's checking that Chase statement, being like, how much?
I'm like transferring from like accounts. I'm like, okay.
No, what I do is it's like really kind of. I mean, it's not bad. It's like anytime someone is like, it's because it's usually a one. I don't ever go out with a large group like that. Just flat.
Yeah, because I suppose it's popular belief you're not the social butterfly.
I guess it's like my own popular belief where I was like, I'm like this huge like social person.
Nick gets home from hanging out with people. He's like, wow.
I'm like,
I really did do that.
No, it's like, and it's one person. I hung out with one
yes.
person, and it's like my closest friend.
Saddles.
It's like closest friend, and I'm like, wow, I'm so social. No. But like, so whenever that happens, and someone is like, oh, like, just I'll Venmo request you, and I'm like, great, and then I don't get that Venmo request, or like I don't hear anything, or like I'm just like, okay, or this is bad. I did this once.
Your cross to bear.
I did this once it wasn't a date per se, because the person fully was with another person at the time, but we like split an Uber, and it was like I could tell that this person was like into me, and we like took an Uber home, and I was like, I really didn't want to take the Uber home. I was the one to take the train, and was like, well, let's get an Uber. Like, it's okay. Like, whatever. It's really cheap. We can split it. And this is how much if we split it. And I was like, fine, whatever. Let's do it. So this person got dropped off first, and so then we said bye, whatever, left, and I was like, Venmo request me, and they're like, okay, yeah, and then left. I got home. Never got the Venmo request. Never felt the need to try to find the Venmo and be like, hey, here's the $10 for the Uber, babe.
No.
Because I was like, listen, they didn't try. So
They offered it. They said, I would, yeah.
I mean, they did bring up, like, we could split. And I was like, yeah, let's do that.
Listen.
But never asked me for my Venmo, never gave me theirs. You know, sometimes when you're broke and you have no money, you got to do what you got to do.
But listen, let me tell you this. And, you know, here at Pioneers and Trailblazers, you know, we are honest women of God. Like, we're keeping it real here.
I went to Catholic school for 12 years. So we are a woman
honey,
of God.
conversion therapy, it done happened to me.
Wait, did it really?
Well, okay. You
Wait,
want to
did
talk?
you do that? Wait, stop. Did you really? Oh my God. Wait, I had no idea.
Yeah, wait, it's an attempt at conversion therapy. Oh, do you want to get into this? Okay, that's my town hall. Wait, I had a stupid town hall from over the weekend, but
No. Please just talk about the conversion therapy because I'm so intrigued because I never.
Town hall is a town hall revelation.
Yeah, because I never had to do it because my family loved me.
Oopsie. Well, the thing with this is like it was like an attempt at conversion therapy or like at praying the gay away kind of thing.
Where they just like sit around in a circle around you and we're just like, not gay.
Well, so what happened is I had it was like the last year before I moved to the US because things, as opposed to popular belief, I'm a very big hit in America. In Peru, not so much. In Peru,
tomatoes. They were throwing tomatoes at you.
throwing tomatoes at me.
Anytime you tried to perform, get the fuck out of here.
And the thing is, like, what sucked the most is like, ironically enough, like in Peru, like my dad, when I was growing up, like he was a really successful business person. He like ran 5-star hotels, and so like we technically had money, like Peru money or whatever. And so I feel like the only reason why some people were even my friends is because like I threw great birthday parties. Like
they liked you because you were rich.
Like my 4th grade and 5th grade birthday parties were at my dad's hotel, where there was like there was a jacuzzi, a pool, and everything. Like it was like, you know, and like it was like the party to get the invite to.
Oh, the event of the event of the year.
But then obviously like on the side everyone was calling me a fag, like, you know, I was getting bullied, you know, like, it was bad. And so this is the last year in Peru, and school, you know, was not going good for me. Like I was getting into theater then, which was my only like gateway, but everything else I was just getting
the gateway to gay.
Yeah, which is it's just so fucking stupid because like I look back at my time in Peru and it's like I have friends, but it's just like I was still getting bullied somehow. Like I was like getting bullied
by your friends,
just my peers, I guess. I don't know. Like I went to all the parties, you know, like I had friends, but then like also I was getting bullied. It was really weird, like for being gay. So I was getting ostracized, and like I was, you know, going home crying because I was getting bullied. But then like the next day I would be like, all right, whose party we're going to? Like it was just a weird dynamic, and so. It was a Peruvian British school, which is how I learned English ahead of moving to the US. But it was also like an evangelical school, so it was like highly religious.
So wait, it was British. So did you learn English with the accent?
Well, I didn't learn it. It never stuck. But yeah, it never stuck. This stuck. The gay accent stuck, just not the British one.
Right, of course.
Yeah, of course.
But
gay translates.
You're born with the gay accent.
You're born with the gay accent.
You can learn the British one.
Yeah.
The gay one is genetic.
Yeah, genetics. And so. Our class was just like really turning over homeroom teachers because we just kept being assholes to all homeroom teachers, so they would just quit. And so this one last homeroom teacher, her name was Karen. I'll never forget fucking Karen.
Of course her name was
Karen. And Karen, even in Peru, the Peruvian Karen, bitch, the Peruvian title of that, Peruvian Karen. She was one of those typical like, was super sweet, super nice, like it was all about love and cherishing and everything, but she was, you know, just like an evil religious bitch.
They always
And
are.
from the moment she saw me and she zeroed in, like she could tell the dynamic with me, with the people in class and whatever, like she just like zeroed in on me. And she tried to befriend me, and like I was, you know, going through some really tough social times. And then, like, long story short, like she was like kind of like pretending to be my friend or whatever. And during these times, I was having so much trouble at school in the class setting that I was getting sent to like the psychologists of the school.
Oh my god.
And so, like, because they were just like, what's happening, you know, you only have girlfriends, you don't have any boyfriends, like what's happening, like why would you want to hang out?
They sent you to the psychologist over that?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Because they were just trying to, I know, they were trying to figure out what's wrong with me. They were just like, okay, like we can tell, like everyone bullies you, they're calling you gay, like, so what's happening? And so, you know, you only have friends that are girlies, you don't have friends that are boys.
Are
so
you
like
a
what's
faggot?
happening?
Are you a little faggot?
And so, but it was like literally the psychologist. So these are like fake ass fucking people. It was terrible. And so I remember one of my psychology sessions was just like, okay, here's a piece of paper, draw a person. It doesn't, I'm not gonna tell you who it is. You can draw a boy or you can draw a girl. Of course I drew a girl.
Right, of course.
Gorgina.
The fashion.
Of course. I'm like, what am I gonna do? A boy with a t-shirt and shorts?
No, there's nothing to work with a boy. With a girl,
This is a girl.
a gown,
makeup,
hair,
jewelry,
the hair,
lipstick, anything.
Yeah.
And so they were like, we noticed that you drew a girl. Is that who you think you are? Do you think you're a girl? It was like one of those. And at one point I was like, oh, this is the catch. My mom had no idea
This was going on.
this was going on.
They didn't tell her?
My mom was like Nicole Kidman in the movie with Lucas Hedges. Like she had no idea that this was happening.
Okay, I'm gonna be really brave and vulnerable for a second and say that I did not see that film.
With Miss Troy?
With Miss Troy, I do get compared a lot to Lucas Hedges people in my comments whenever I have.
You do?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
Oh, when I have a buzz cut, every single person is up in my comments or in my messages on Grindr being like, "Do you know you look like Lucas Hedges?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I heard that one before."
Wow.
And so because of that, I didn't want to see the movie because it hit too close to home.
Too close to
Lucas Hedges
looking in the mirror.
No, it's like looking in the mirror. I'm like, bitch, I could have Lucas Hedges' career right now. I fully
Yeah,
could.
but he has a fucking famous dad. So
Did I tell you? Oh, I didn't tell you this. Sorry, I'm really interrupted. A guy that I went to college with had the same therapist as Lucas Hedges, and I went to a party at his apartment, and he was like, "Lucas, you just missed Lucas Hedges. He was just here." And I was like, "Why the fuck was Lucas Hedges here?" And he was like, "Oh, we share the same therapist." And I was like, "Cool." Have not spoken to that man since, but I could have, but no. I do want to I do want a career like his. Anyway, go back to your story. Conversion therapy. I'm so sorry to interrupt. I'm making this about me. I do everything. I make everything about me.
It's okay. It's okay.
I make everything about me.
So psychology sessions are happening, and so psychoanalysis, they're trying to figure me out. And so then I remember during one of the sessions too, like the psychologist was just like,
I'm so sorry to interrupt, but them trying to figure you out. I can just imagine them being like, so what's his vibe?
yeah, what?
Like, what is the vibe?
What's
with
going
this
on here?
one? And
Yeah.
like, yeah, no.
But also ultimately, like looking back, it's just like, yeah, I'm a fucking weird bitch. Like, get over yourself. Like, I'm just.
But also, how old were you at this time?
Well, this is I was 13.
Okay, at 13,
Yeah.
everyone's a fucking weird. You're going through puberty.
Yeah, but the only difference is I was just hanging out with the dolls.
Yeah. But me too. All
Yeah.
my friends were girls.
Oh yeah. Okay, so anyway, so then
You're not special.
I think I am. They thought I was for sure. And so I remember at one point he was trying to tell me a story. He was just, let me tell you a story of the person like who was walking in a cave or something. And like you're walking down the cave and like you stumble upon a rock. And then you're like, oh my God, you stumble on a rock. But then you keep going back to the cave and you keep stumbling on the same rock. So then it's like, oh, like the first time it was a mistake, but like the second and third time, any other time you stumble on that rock, it's like your fault. It was just this weird analogy about rocks in a cave. It was just weird because then there were, oh my God, this is why, because there was a new student in the school. His name was Fabio. And Fabio was gay.
Was he hot?
He was hot.
Of
Had
course.
green eyes.
You have to be hot with a
And
name like
I don't
Fabio.
mean to objectify, like saying that like the European, Eastern European like features are the ones that are hot, but like to me, like when
To me, white Europeans are the hottest. Yeah, no.
Nazi officers hot.
You're canceled.
Like,
You're done. You're like you're over.
When I'm seeing the history books, I'm just like, well, they're not too hot, but but just physically, just physically. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that it was really unusual to have like a
Nazi hot. No. No.
Well, in the comments, please let us know what you think about
Right.
Nazis in general.
Bad. I would hope everyone would say Nazis
Bad. Actually, yes, please. Show us your support by just commenting Nazis are bad. Okay, cool. So the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that he stood out because he you know, because we're all Peruvian, we're all like brown skinned, you know, and so it was unusual to see
skin girl, skin just like pearls. Anyway, continue.
It was unusual to have a guy who with green eyes. So he was like, you know, brown skinned like us, but he had green eyes. So it was like a nice thick mix of features. So I remember that zeroing in on Fabio was like, he's got green eyes, he's cute, he's hot, he's tall, and somehow he was vibing with all the dolls. But he was definitely also a gay. But somehow they weren't like bullying him. Like they were bullying me because I guess I had been in the school for longer, but like he was new and he was like the new hot toy.
Have you ever thought that maybe they weren't bullying you because you were gay? They were just bullying you because of your personality.
Because I think Nazis are hot.
No, because you've been there long enough and they're like, Peru sucks.
Yeah, Peru sucks. Fabio?
They're like, why are we? Yeah. No,
Fabio's the gay to hang out with. So
they liked Fabio?
Well, the thing is like I actually
like falling off my bed. I'm so sorry.
the thing is Fabio and I started an affair.
You had an affair with Fabio?
An affair.
As a 13-year-old?
Yeah, and I told you I lost my virginity to two guys, Christian and Miguel. Come on, I'll tell the story in another episode. But like,
sure.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I do remember. Yeah.
Yeah, but so I remember like
I can't imagine having an affair with a 13-year-old. At that age, like I truly like I can't wrap my head around it, but also because we grew up differently. But anyway,
yeah, very differently. And so we would like get together after school was over in like an empty classroom, and we would like make out and like sit on each other and like blow each other. Like we would just definitely yes.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you like please go into detail about what you mean
sitting?
By sitting on each
so
other?
we would just like dry hump each other, you know. So I would like sit on him, but like we wouldn't really.
You're just bouncing up and down on his lap and like the, in, like the chair at the desk.
So like this. So I would just be like that.
Okay, for those who are not watching on YouTube, Peru is straddling me in a way that makes me feel very uncomfortable, and he is just like rubbing his body on me. So then they were dry humping.
Okay, well, to circle it back to the thing, is like the people at the school, the teachers and stuff, like started noticing, I think, that like I was getting teased with Fabio.
Sure.
Like they were like, oh, Peru and Fabio, you know, they're both gay together. Like that was the bullying for a second. And so like I feel like that's where it all began. Like they were just like, okay, we gotta zero in on this.
And then they're like, okay, conversion therapy, let's go.
Okay, so psychology, right? So all these therapy sessions are psychology. And then towards the end of the year, school was over, and then Karen, famous Karen, love her with her glasses, and she always wore red. We was always wearing like a red
that's really
suit.
Yeah, I love red. Red is my color. So actually, no, she's the queen now. Actually, I support her.
And so I remember like she was like giving like gifts to all the students in the class because like, the school year was coming to an end, and then like she was like, "Do you want to come with me? Like I want to you know tell you a little story. I want you to just give." And so she pulls me over to another classroom. This is like literally at the end of the school year, and then there was like the psychologist was there and somebody else was there. I remember like at first it was just me and Karen, but then like the other two joined. So it was like then this room, and so then Karen, and very like the way like evil just like fucking like hides itself in kindness. It's so clear to me because she sat down and she was like, oh my god, you know who you remind me of, you know, I'm so fond of you because I feel like I just like you so much because you remind me of somebody. She's like, I have this hairdresser and he is the most fabulous hairdresser. Let me tell you,
Not the hairdresser.
She was like, his personality is the best. Every time I go there, I not only see the greatest hairdresser I've ever had, but he's also the funniest. He's the nicest person ever. And so she just goes on and tells me about this hairdresser.
She should have just called you a faggot. She should have just been like,
no, but just wait. She goes like, and he's just so lovely, and I always look forward to seeing him, and just like I adore him, and I just see the beauty in him, and how nice he is, and I just can't help but feel sorry for him, because I know that ultimately at the end of the day he's going to hell, and I don't want you to go down the path that my hairdresser is going down. This is how she was talking to me. Like, she was like she was smiling. She was just telling me about like this beautiful person who's lovely, makes her laugh, the best person ever who's going to hell.
That is so insidious.
It's like fucking like, it was like, it's Voldemort style. It was just like the way it turned. You could hear like the fucking like Hereditary like fucking like soundtrack. It was just like, it was, and I was like, and then so everyone like looked around and she was like, so now we're here because we love you and we think, you know, you have salvation, and we think that you know you. And so they're like, so we all held hands. No. And I didn't know this was happening, and so I started crying because I was like, I don't know what's happening. And so as I was crying, they were just like, let's all hold hands and now let's pray. And they literally did this whole prayer circle to just get rid of like the sin in me at 13. And I was like, okay. I thought I was just gonna come here and get a gift. Like, she was handing gifts to everyone. I was like, I thought she bought me a bike. Like, I thought she had a special gift for me, a doll.
Like, I'm her favorite.
Yeah,
so like, I'm gonna get something expensive.
Yeah, but no. And then we were done, and like, and then she started crying too. She was like,
they always do.
It was great. And then went home, told my mom. I was like, girl. I was like,
bitch, you will not believe. Bitch, you will not believe the day I just had.
I was like, girl, let me tell you. For as difficult as it was during those years in my life, even with my parents and my mom, like with the whole gay thing, it wasn't good. But my mom, first and foremost, has always been like an advocate for just her kids in general. If anyone fucks with my mom or her kids, my mom stormed her ass into that school, straight into the principal's office the next day, being like, I did not approve of any of these conversations you've been having with my kid. I am going to sue everyone. I am going to kill everyone. My mom went insane. Like, she had done before when I was in first grade and she found out a teacher was hitting me with a fucking ruler. She went into the fucking classroom and she was like, if you ever touch my kid again, I will kill you.
Wait, obsessed.
Yeah, my mom is a fucking slay. And so it was a whole ordeal at the school. And then Miss Karen stopped smiling at me, stopped talking to me, would not address me in the halls of the school. Oh. Yeah, it was, and then no surprise there. I ended up moving to America because things weren't quite really working out for me at the school. But that was literally the last few days of school. And then like after the holiday season, my mom was like, "We're going to the U.S." and I was like, "Okay, slay."
Just like, I can't imagine, like,
and just like that. No, they're chanting around you like straight. No, that's like actually so crazy because like I never had anything happen to me like that, which you would think like going to a religious institution for like all of your upbringing would present that. But I think because I was like low-key popular in high school, and middle school not so much, but how big was your high school?
It was small, and that's the thing. It was
I'm trying to see the popularity level here. How many students did you have in your class?
I think our graduating class was like in the 40 to 50 range of people.
My graduating class was 667.
No, and that's okay.
And I was
on homecoming court, not to brag or anything. I didn't win, but that was a whole other story in and of itself.
Okay, Trixie Mattel, relax.
It was rigged. It was rigged against me. People were mad.
People did strike. They walked out of school in protest.
Again, it's a long story. I can get into a different time, but it just reminds me of, we had a religion teacher who also happened to be the art teacher at my high school, and she's my religion teacher my sophomore year, and sophomore year was when I had an affair with a foreign exchange student. And
see, what are you talking about? You don't have affairs.
well, it was 16. It was different than 13. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. 3 years.
Girl, by 16 I was already like fucking like
No.
blue the warmest color. Like I was already like.
See, it was different for me. And so he was a year older. He was from the I'm not gonna
Say it.
He's from the Czech Republic.
Hot.
Yeah, he was really,
Green eyes.
I think they were brown. I can't remember. We're still like friendly, but we had a lot of things go down. But anyway, this just reminds me of this because I would be in the fucking religion class, and this bitch would be like, we'd be talking about, I can't remember. It was something about morality, like the class itself, and it was like religious morals and all that kind of stuff. And obviously it was right around the time where like gay marriage was legalized, and so people were bringing that up. And she was like, listen, I'm an art teacher, okay? I've been around those people before. And so we were all like, yes, queen. And then immediately she was like, I don't approve of their lifestyle.
Oh my God.
But love them. And I was like, oh. Meanwhile, I am fully sitting on a man's lap, like this foreign exchange student's lap, bouncing up and down on his dick, being like, yes, and thinking the whole time that no one knew that there was anything going on between the two of us. Like I was like so convinced. And then literally the following year, I like mentioned his name, and people were like, oh yeah, you were fucking, right? And I was like, okay, we weren't fucking, but like. We definitely had some romance going on, and like my heart did break. But
he dumped your ass?
No, he fully dumped my ass. Well, not to. No, I'm actually gonna air his ass out.
yes, get a Jade.
He's married now to a woman.
To a woman?
No, yeah, to a woman. No, because so what happened was we hooked up. It was just like we hooked up, and it was the first time I had ever done anything with a guy, and it was like huge. Like I was like, oh my God, I just lost my virginity. Like I'm like reborn. Like I'm like.
Did you top or did you bottom?
Well, that's the thing. We didn't have like. I just like sucked his dick.
So you didn't lose your virginity.
But like I felt like I lost, like it was a loss of innocence that sort of happened. And also virginity is a construct. Okay.
Is it?
Yeah. Whatever you feel, like if you feel, my opinion is, I don't think you need to be having full blown anal sex for you to like lose your virginity.
Well, that's what it means.
No, not necessarily. I mean, to some people, sure. But like I mean,
not to be a side eraser or like anything,
no.
But like
I will say when I had anal sex for the first time, I did not feel the same way after I sucked dick for the first time, which is like I felt like, oh, I'm an adult now.
When you sucked dick?
Yes. So I sucked his dick in a closet. Which the irony is not lost to me with that. And so then,
I just got that.
Yeah. So he did immediately the next day we had hung out, and he was like really cold towards me after I fully like sucked his dick, and he came and everything. And then
he came on you. You can say it.
No,
he came on you.
He came on my thigh because he didn't know he's like, where should I put it? And I was like, I don't know, just do my leg. And then he came on my leg, and then he tried to suck my dick, but I couldn't get hard because I was like too nervous.
Oh no. That's never happened to me.
Oh, it happens to me all the time. So then anyway, the next day we hung out, and I like had made a joke because he was being really cold towards me, and I couldn't understand why. And I was like, if you're gonna keep acting like this towards me, I'm not gonna suck your dick again. And
leverage.
No, and we were at a urinal. We were both pissing in a urinal at the time when this happened. And he turns and looks at me, and he goes, "Who says I want you to?" And I immediately was like, "It's over." I was like
running in tears out of the stall.
I was like. Right, yeah, okay, whatever you say. Walked out, left. That night, I got a message from him on Facebook Messenger being like, hey, thought I was gay. You made me realize I'm straight. I was like, cool,
ouch.
Thank you so much. And then he hit me with, do you think, and then named my best friend, who, still my best friend to this day, who happens to be a girl, was like, do you think she'd be down to fuck?
Oh my God.
And I was like, I don't know, let me ask her. Because I like didn't have a backbone, and I was like, I don't know. And then yeah, no, he was horrible to me. He was really not nice. And then he left, and then lied to everybody about like basically what happened between us. And then he like a year later, like to my friend Lexi, was like, no, everything Nick said, it was true. I lied. Like blah. Anyway, he's a dentist now, and he's a wife. So
Well,
happy for him. No, truly so happy for him.
so happy for you.
No, I
We're
wish
so happy for
wish
you.
him the best. I hope that this doesn't cause a problem with your marriage. He won't see this. He definitely will not be seeing this. But he does not care about me. But anyway, that just reminded me of that because I was fully like hopping on that man's lap in religion class. In religion class, in front of this religion teacher who was like, "Gay's wrong," and I'm like, "Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is."
I told you about the straight man I had sex with, right? When I was doing a show.
No.
Did I tell you this? When I was dog sitting?
Yeah. Okay. Straight.
Oh, I believe the fucking sexuality is a spectrum, Nick. Okay.
Okay. No.
Just because he had sex with me doesn't mean that he's fully gay. Okay. He could have just been on the spectrum.
Right,
Okay.
that doesn't mean he's straight.
Okay.
That means he's straight curious.
Okay. Virginity.
Which if you go on Sniffies, it is a category you can.
Straight curious.
Straight curious.
You're curious for straight men.
No, you're straight, but you're curious about guys.
Girl.
I know.
Listen, I am famously the youngest person alive to do anything. And as the youngest...
So what am I?
Yeah, but you're whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. No, continue.
As the youngest person and as progressive and everything I am, come on, straight curious?
They're curious.
Are we supposed to defend that now?
I mean, I
Are
don't
we
know.
supposed to defend straight curious?
Listen, if they're...
You know, during my show, the fucking person said someone's hetero flexible.
No, that is a thing. That is
What
a thing I heard
the
about.
fuck is hetero flexible?
No, I just think...
You're a heterosexual that does gymnastics? Because if not, then I don't want to hear it.
No, I just think...
That was funny.
Workshop it.
That was funny. That was funny.
Yeah.
Hetero flexible, title that.
Yeah. Write it down. We'll work on it. No. I do think I'm a firm believer in sexuality being a spectrum and whatever. I do think straight people are crazy. I was actually just thinking about this before we met up today. I've been seeing a lot of like straight male podcasters on my Twitter feed. Sorry, my X feed. Just being like, the video was these guys and we're like, you know, you're high value dude, like you got money, like you whatever. He's like, and if a woman like comes out to you, he's like, you know what you should do? You should just humiliate her. Like if she just wants you for your money, you should be like, what's your body count? I'm not gonna fuck a hoe, or I'm not gonna let a hoe drive in my car. And I was like,
God.
And he's like, yeah, degrade her in front of everybody. And I was like, if somebody did that to me, they're like, what's your body count? My first initial reaction would be like, I don't even fucking know. And also, like, if you know, you're a loser. Like,
yeah.
If you know what your body count is. And, like, I get it. If you have a low body count, like, that's fine. But, like, if you have a low body count. If you haven't had a lot of sex, like, girl, don't worry about it. Like, it's fine. You're okay. But, like, if like, that is something that matters to you, oh, my God, you have worms in your brains.
But, I mean, it's just like the fucking gay guys who, like, hit you on Grindr being like, had any loads today? And then you're like, well, actually,
that's like the
no.
inverse of it. That's actually, like, gay men are the inverse. They want you to have a bunch of sexual partners. Like, they want you to be really, like, they want you to be like a used car. They want you to have 400,000 miles on your ass because they're like, oh, no, because there's like, I have a friend who I have sex with every once in a while who loves to ask me like or fill him in on the last time I had sex. So he's like, oh, like, have you fucked anyone recently? And then he like loves it when I go into detail about it. Like, it turns him on or whatever. But it's like,
so he just goes on your TikTok thing and just,
like,
he jerks off.
No, he jerks the fuck off. No, but it is like, there are people like that are into it, but I just think straight men are so so silly because it's like, why are you so insecure? And like, why would you care if like a woman has fucked a lot of men because it doesn't affect you in any way? I don't know how we got there.
Me neither.
I don't know, but I have to pee really bad. So could we just get into I get to Pioneers and Trailblazers for the...
Yeah. Do you want to wrap?
Yeah, let's wrap. I feel like we have a good time. Is
Yeah.
that good?
Yeah.
So we're just gonna Unless you have anything else you want to add. Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
No. Well, wait. When are we putting this up?
Mondays.
No, I know that.
It'll be next Monday.
Oh, yes. I mean, by this time, I'm not even promoting my show anymore because it would have already happened.
Yeah.
Wait, should we release this tomorrow?
Girl, I don't have enough time. I won't have enough time to edit. Do you know how long it took me to edit this? It took me a whole fucking week.
Here I am fucking touring the country and you have time to edit.
Yeah, and guess what? This is an unpaid job. So right now, if you're watching this and you wanna sponsor, please
sponsor us.
Well, yeah, like us and then share us. But also, like, if you have money and you want to advertise something, please. We again. No morals. We will sell whatever the fuck it is.
I already told you about my morals pre-pod.
Yeah. post for the pod, girl. I don't give a fuck.
No.
Sell whatever the hell you want. We'll do it.
We'll do it.
As long as the paycheck is good. If the paycheck is good, we're not accepting crumbs, by the way.
We're 2 episodes in. And already, I'm like, if y'all want to pay for this, we'll start the Patreon Sniffies OnlyFans. Like, we'll do
make it happen
just for fans. We'll launch it if you guys want it. Like, honestly,
no, truly,
please. Anyway,
do you have your pioneer or trailblazer?
You go first.
Okay, my pioneer, my trailblazer for the week would be men who send you dick pics, but in the dick pic their toes are pointed. Because I will say I got one the other day, and the man sent me his dick pic, and like he's in his bed, and it's like, you know, he probably used the wide angle lens on his iPhone to make it look bigger. But in the picture, his legs are just like straight out, and they are pointed. His toes pointed, like his legs flexed, and it's like he was, I don't know, he was mid stretch, but also his room dirty.
Of course, they're always dirty.
So I was just like, the dichotomy of that, like the combination of those things, the pointed toes, the dirty bedroom, the dick that is supposed to be the prominent sort of kind of thing.
Listen,
it was a nice, it's a nice penis, and thank you so much, sir, for sharing that to
It's
me.
hard to tell when dicks are big on photos anymore, because like you'll have guys still doing the whole like sizing it next to like a remote control or something.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, well, I've seen them in person afterwards. Like this guy, for example, that I fucked. He fucked me, and I hate it. But P.S. By the way, can we just address this really quickly? I don't like it when people just say like I fucked as a bottom. Like I don't fuck, I get fucked. But I know bottoms who just like you need to start saying I got fucked. You don't say I fucked because you didn't do the fucking.
I don't support that. I don't write off on that. But anyway,
continue.
Anyway. What are you saying?
So he like has sent me a photo. I mean, he was really cute, which I over past the fact that he sent me a dick pic next to a Truly can.
Sure.
But it was like its size. It was like, wow, like it didn't look big in the other photos, but then when you put it next to the Truly can, I was like,
it does look big.
It looks big. But then I saw it in person, and I was like, oh, like this wasn't that big. So like even next to the Truly can, it wasn't like this. I actually got sent here. Let me show you this one really quickly.
Are you gonna show it to me?
Well, okay, so this is one that I've already had before. Like I've had sex with this guy before, but he he is from Miami or something, but like he's back in New York, and I had lost his album or whatever.
Can I pee really quick? I'm so sorry. Can I go pee really quick? We'll still record. I just have to pee so
bad.
Okay,
go pee.
Oh my god, I have to pee so bad.
How long have you had to pee?
Like the past 10 minutes.
The past 10 minutes?
Yeah, but I was like,
oh, he's back.
I'm back.
Was it a good pee?
It was so good.
I tried filling the time.
Like, so I just think when like they post the picture and like you're flat on your bed and you're taking your dick pic, great. Just crop your feet out.
Crop your feet out.
Why are you going wee with like your feet pointed like that? Like it looks like you're stretching, and then like you're also like get the picture. Like you're like flexing, like trying to hold, and I'm like, oh.
Well, but I mean, at the end of all that, like, did you like it?
Yeah, it was a dick. I like dicks. What do you mean?
Are you gonna see this person?
I can't remember. Who sent it to me. Oh my god! But I did douche before you came because I am gonna go have sex tonight.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
So I famously was gonna go have sex with 2 people yesterday. That I then bailed on because then I put my friends over dick, and I was having a good time. I was a good person. I'm a good person. I decided to just bail on my threesome appointment. But you saw them; they were cute, and I did feel bad because then when I got the text back, it was like all good, you know, like. I just like made up some lie, being like, "Oh my god, my friend got really drunk. I gotta take care of him," and they were like, "All good, like just take care of your friend." And I was like, "Oh no."
They didn't care. They're like, "Okay, well."
No, but I mean, they're not gonna get mad, but also like I hope that they're still down.
Oh, I'm sure they still would be.
Yeah.
Because the person
when you look like this,
you put a bag over the head.
Okay. My pioneer. And I texted you about it actually because it's literally just it's so topical. I don't know, I am not late on the train, but it's just I've just been hyper focused on her today. My pioneer is Sabrina Carpenter. Miss Carpenter. I don't know what she did to me, but of course I like her music. You know, I've perused. I'm a fan. I'm a person of today. I'm famously the youngest person and the trendiest. I perused. Yes, that was intentional.
Yeah.
But
Brandon.
But somehow today I found myself just like,
Which song?
well, obviously Nonsense is my favorite because it's just very much
basic.
No, but I mean, I like her music, but what I'm trying to say is like I started seeing clips of her outro at her concerts that she does, because you know she does a different outro, like she improvs it.
I saw it live. I saw it live.
What was her outro when she did your show?
It was a birthday.
When she did your show.
When she did my show, it was a personal thing that she did for me. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something about her birthday. It was like something about wanting to get some dick on her birthday in New York.
Well, the reason why I bring her up is because I had no idea she was Miss R-rated, Miss Triple X. Like I always thought, like, you like Sabrina Carpenter, like she's cute, it's a cute music, it's funny, it's flirty, you know,
Sure.
it's like tongue in cheeky, but she's literally talking about her puss on this outro. Like she's like actually like of course I get it, like, you know, she's a full grown, as we said, we love women and girls.
This is a women centered
podcast, but I was just surprised at how like explicit she was in just real life and in her concerts. So I was completely just like, what? Like one of her outros was like, water isn't the only thing I swallow, and I was like, what? She's saying this to like a fucking room full of 16-year-old fucking teenagers. I was like, slay, Sabrina. She's opening for fucking Taylor on fucking Mexico, and she's like making to the freaking like Mexican fans, she's like literally saying nasty things in Spanish. Well, she said wait, I'm so sorry, but I have to tell you this. She said something along the lines of her pusita. She said pusita to a stadium full of like 50,000 Mexican teenagers.
Good for her.
And I live. I was just surprised. I was not expecting it.
I'm telling you right now, I would say the Taylor Swift audience is not just 16-year-olds. It is also 45-year-old women.
Well, of course, there's no in between.
It's an entire range of people. So like, so yes, 16-year-olds being like, pusita.
No, but you know how it is with just an audience outreach in general, like knowing your audience is like, if you're obviously if your audience is that broad, it's still, you know, like it wasn't part of the brand of the Sabrina Carpenter experience that I have known through her music. Now that I know her as a person, and it's like dear friends.
You just haven't been a strong enough fan. You just haven't been following.
Well, now
some of us knew. I
had no idea, and so I was surprised. So my pioneers, Miss Sabrina, Miss Carpenter, if you're watching, thank you.
Thank you for your service, girl.
Thank you for your service, girl. Thank you for your pusita.
When I saw her in concert, I will say I lived, I gagged. And there was a drunk girl who was maybe 20 years old. She came up to me, literally the concert had just started, and she was like, has she played Nonsense yet? I was like, girl, it just started. Like,
that would be me.
I was like, also look up the set list before you come, girl. It's the encore song. Duh.
I am so sorry, but before we finish this podcast, we're gonna fight because
you don't look up the set list?
Absolutely not. I want to go and have an experience.
No, I'm the kind of person that gets tired after a while, and so I'm like, okay, like after, like I love a concert.
Don't go.
No, I love a concert, but after a certain point, like when you're standing and like you run out of your drink and it's a little too late to order another, to go to the bar and get another one.
Then you don't need to drink.
Also, it's standing.
Nick, no one's telling you to drink.
It's standing room. Like sometimes it's just nice to know, like we're close to the end. We're close to the end. Also, it's also nice to know what the set list is. So if you have to get out quickly to make the train before the entire wave of people from the concert tries to go and get on the exact same train as you, you could leave a little bit early if you're not crazy about the encore songs.
And see, again, last but not least, I'm just saying, like, that's the reason why I don't go to these huge concerts, because first, like, I cannot justify spending that much money on a concert. I'm sorry. I would rather like spend that much money on clothes than a concert, because I can watch it on YouTube. Like I watched the entire Eras tour and the Beyonce tour on Instagram stories. Like I saw the entire tour. But if I'm going to a concert, it means that I'm there because I like the artist, and I am not there to like press skip or
like
get
tired. You don't ever get tired.
No, when I go, and also for the most part, I go to concerts alone. Because, like, when I like an artist, like, I like going to experience the music, like, by myself.
Oh, I would never fucking do that.
I want to go see Jessie Ware with the Gays, though, in October.
Yeah.
That'll be... I'm sure I'll talk about that. Because it's been a bit since I've been to a concert with gay men.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting.
The last concert I went to with gay men was Lorde. I saw Lorde.
Oh, my God. I can't... How are we friends?
Don't speak ill on my mother. Okay, that woman. Oh my God.
Trash talk your mother.
Oh, No. I literally should have been put on
She
her
looks like one.
I should have been paid for the amount of fucking PR I did for Solar Power the summer that shit came out. It was as if I was being paid by her team to promote the album. Okay? I love her. I saw her in concert at Radio City. Sobbed my eyes out. I saw it with gay people. There was a gay person there that I did not know that was a mutual friend that was trying to hit on me the whole time. Wasn't into it. But lived.
I don't get her.
Because you just don't get it. You're old.
Famously the youngest person alive, and also actually makes me cooler that I don't really get this mainstream divas, because I am not a Taylor Swift person. I am not a Lorde girl.
I would say Lorde is like mainstream, kind of mainstream adjacent. Like she's still kind of considered like on the fringe of like, she's like a pop star, for sure, because she's a huge
I would
audience.
never call Lorde a pop star. I would call Lorde a musician. I would never call her a pop star.
No, she's a pop star. She's a pop star.
She's not a pop star.
She is a. I'm gonna. Okay.
What constitutes a pop star? A pop star is a pop star.
She makes pop music,
but
and
she's
she is
not
a star.
A pop star is a person who's like a performer, and like she's a pop star and diva. Like Lorde is not a pop star.
Have you been to a Lorde concert?
Do you consider Billie Eilish to be a pop star?
She is a pop star by definition.
No.
She makes popular music and she's like a star. She's like a pop star.
No, if it's for the way I see pop stars is different.
Because you came up from an era where it was like...
No, stop talking about eras. This has been the podcast.
Thank you so much for tuning into Pioneers and Trailblazers.
Like and subscribe, rate us, share, and then please get us to freaking make this full time immediately.
Sure, and we're every Monday, whether you like it or not. So stay tuned. Bye.